I've been a loss adjuster for 34 years, and for the last 16 years I've dealt almost exclusively with environmental claims. And basically my definition is any loss that involves pollution or contamination or significant waste disposal challenges arising, whether it's on a commercial policy, a domestic policy, public liability covers, road traffic covers or the like, or obviously under specialist environmental impairment liability wordings. The complexities of these claims for me is that they're often multi-party incidents, and there is very often a great deal of urgency about the claims when they first occur. The spill may have been reported to insurers and notified straight to the adjusters just after the contamination has occurred, and the damage is getting worse, the pollution is spreading, and the risks are increasing. So cover can be in question, causation may be in question, and therefore liability is in question. Which party is liable for this incident? Which insurance cover engages? And it's in that context, I think, that specialist environmental adjusting is an important service to insurers, because we can bring together the various disciplines and take the correct steps to minimise the impact of these incidents while still reserving insurers' position. So we have a team of specialist adjusters and in-house environmental consultants, and our consultants are equipped to undertake their own site investigations, to recover samples, to get lab analysis done, and that particular service means that we can remove the scoping and cost of any cleanup work from the contractor who stands to gain from the cost of that cleanup operation. One of the situations I've seen quite frequently is that spills can occur on the policyholder's site, and they're there in the land causing significant contamination issues, but there's no direct damage to insured property. So the buildings aren't damaged, the plant and machinery is not actually damaged, there's simply, say, fuel oil sitting under the hard standing. And that does represent a potential liability to the business, but there's no insured damage there. So in relation to owned land, the corollary of that is that the definition of buildings does not normally include any land. Gradual incidents. I think one of the best known exclusions under commercial wordings is the exclusion that says there is no cover under the policy for legal liabilities arising from pollution or contamination unless this pollution and contamination is caused by a sudden, identifiable, unintended or unexpected incident. So gradual pollution incidents will not be covered by most policies. The final part of my presentation is just a brief and relatively straightforward case study. It involves a major loss that was reserved at close on £20 million in relation to a huge flood at a governmental building. The river that runs past the building burst its banks, water flooded through the ground floor, the building was absolutely soaked through, and there was approximately 10 million litres of water lodged in the basement there, to a depth of about 3 or 4 feet. So no drying of the building could proceed while all this water was lodged there, and we had reports that there was oil stored in the basement, that there were cleaning products stored in the basement, so this water was reportedly contaminated. So the proposal by the company who owned this building, a property management company who were running it, was to bring in the suction wagons and pump out the basement. Now that was going to take approximately 200 suction wagons and might take 8 to 10 weeks. The cost for the suction wagons alone would be up to £1 million. The likely time period to do this work would be up to 8 weeks. So the question I asked myself was, okay, how contaminated is contaminated? We had sampling done of the water in the basement. It was proved that the contamination, yes, was present, but it was at very low levels. And we engaged with the Environment Agency, and we agreed a regime whereby, so long as we monitored the water, so long as we took samples as we went along, and so long as we had equipment available on site, if any contamination turned up through which we could treat the water, we could basically pump the basement out, subject to this careful monitoring, straight back into the river. The cost of this operation was less than £30,000. The timescale was less than 2 weeks, and the approximate saving to insurers was in the region of £2 million.